Yeah. So up next is the front brake. I think this is going to turn into another mini project like the carburetor or the seat. Yeah. So this was seized on the brake disc. The previous owner ended up getting a C-clamp and pushing on it really hard until the C-clamp broke, and then we were just barely able to scooch it off the disc. So that is where we are now. One thing is, it appears in driving the bike home, seems we lost one of these little sets. So I will probably need to. It says 6 on it. I don't know what that means, but I'll probably have to get one at the hardware store to replace it. Okay, battery died. Anyway, so where am I? I got the shoes off. I'm gonna clean them up and see if they look any good. So this guy got all disassembled. Took the little clips off so I can clean them up. Took this little plastic door off of here. I think this is the check the brakes window, I think is what that is. I got the little metal thing and the rubber thing off of this part where that goes back and forth on. I don't know what any of this stuff is called. What else? Oh, I took this spring thingy off of the inside here. So this was in here like that, and then I just pulled it back and then came right out. So now I'm kind of, and I got the dust cover off, and there was a little tension spring holding it in place, so definitely save that. Got a new one of these. So here's what it looks like under the dust cover. So dust cover worked great. I don't see any dust in here at all. Unfortunately, I do see rust. So I'm thinking, what is the right thing to do next? Generally, what you do is you put a rag across this piece right here, right? So that this guy doesn't go flying. And then you take the hose off and you put air compressor nozzle right in there, and you give it air until it backs out. I think the first thing I'll do is go ahead and unplug it from the hose here, and then see about draining all this. Oh, since we're going to drain it anyway, let's pop the cover off here. If we can. Oh, that is solid. Okay, I made some progress. Check these out. I got 3.5 of them out, and they are looking sorry. So, we'll see what's in here. I have no idea what's in here. I haven't looked yet. I don't want to crack stuff, but I could just, yeah, okay, there we go. Gently break the seal, right? There we go. And, ooh, it's dry and rusty. Ooh, look at that. Oh, there's a rubber thing in there. I think that's supposed to be way up here, isn't it? And I'll have to look at some diagrams, but yeah, I don't think it's supposed to look like that. Alright, well, maybe I don't have to worry about getting brake fluid all over, because maybe there isn't any. So that's coming off okay now. So there's that. I suppose we could clean that up and reuse it. So let's see about this here rubber guy. Ew. Is that brake fluid or is it just water? I don't know. But I'm thinking this is supposed to be like accordioned up. I don't know, like, dagnabbit, I'm going to empty this out real quick. Well, suddenly it's looking a lot more appealing. I don't know why. But anyway, I think it's supposed to accordion, isn't it? Like, I may have to get a new one just to get it to be the right shape. Anyway, so we'll set that aside for now. Set these aside, and okay, that's a solid sort of thing. Where's the fluid go? In these little 4 little holes, I guess? I don't know. Can we get the top, this plastic bit off? It looks brittle, but I'm not super experienced with brakes. I did one on a Honda, but it was in good shape, relatively. It was a little bit hard to pull on the handle. So, oh, what's that? What's going on there? Oh, there's a big old cavity down in there. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing screws or something. I think it's just a matter of working at it until it... Yeah, it's just a matter of working at it until it comes loose here. There we go. Okay, well, it's not broken. I should probably put a rag down under this stuff. Well, there's the rest of the bolt. Maybe. Ooh, look at all that rust dust that has now fallen into the little holes, into the where the screws go. So that's part. I guess that's part of what's going on. Is this little bit actually threaded into the metal, and all that was just exposed in these holes that are just there for the screws to go through. Interesting. And that, does that look like brake fluid to you? It looks like rusty water to me. So I'm not sure what all this is supposed to do. Well, I hadn't really intended to make a video on a brake autopsy, but that's kind of what it's looking like. So, let's see. we get this rubber piece out of the way? Yes, I think we can. It's in good shape. I'll get to that later. Let's see. I need another rag. I use my hand wiping rag as a drip catching rag. Should probably also get a paper towel. And I'll do that later. So what do we got? We got some evicted critters there, I guess. Yeah. So let's pull this guy off. What size is my hand? It is. Okay. We got permanent parts right now. Okay. Just gotta pull it out. There we go. That comes out. Don't lose that spring. Can't lose that spring. It's stuck in there. That's okay. Alright. Yeah, how do we unplug that? Okay, well, let's save that for later, maybe. Now I want to get this pipe off here, this hose off here, if I can. Oh boy. Well, the vice grips helped me get that one screw out, so yeah, I can glue that back together and that'll be fine. No, not really. Let's see. Finally got this guy out. Turns out there's a little tab up here that if you just push down on that, the whole thing comes out. Unfortunately, I may have broken it a little before I figured that out. So, well, you know, live and learn. Finally got this guy off. He was just on there really, really tight. So now I'm left with this guy, but I don't know how to get that out. I think at this point I need to take a break and go do some research. Okay, well, I gave it, what did I give it? About 50 psi and nothing happened. I tried to twist it with some channel locks. Nothing happened. I even got a bit of leverage. Let's try to see if these hoses are at least not clogged up. So here's the one end and here's the other. See if I can get that in there. Oh yeah. Oh, that's perfect. So at least this part of it is good. Yay! So I got that much to work with. Okay, I did a little homework. I found a guy who took this apart, and as it turns out, this is just a dust cover, and it pops right out. So that was what I was kind of thinking of doing, but I wasn't sure. And then there should be a circlip in there. It's a bunch of gray liquid. That doesn't seem right. There wasn't any gray liquid in the video. Okay, I think I can actually start to see the circlet now. Let's do it again. This is what I got as far as circlet tools, and I don't think it's going to work because I think it's too. I think it's going to be too narrow in there. Yeah, that's never going to fit. Okay. The only hope I might have. Oh. Is if I can fit one of these down in there. So that's, yeah, I didn't figure my tools would reach, but I kind of hoped, you know. Oh well. Yeah. So, got this guy soaking in liquid wrench. Check this out. I got it unstuck. Although I cheated, I had to use the vice grips and a really long screwdriver for leverage to crack it loose. But yeah, it was just not gonna budge. So let's see what we got here. Apart from all the teeth marks, we can see quite a lot of rust damage going on. So that's not good. But there's a stainless steel one at Vintage Spoke for 30 bucks. So if I can at least reuse this guy. So apart from looking ugly, it feels nice and smooth. So that, oh yeah, I got that off with about 30 psi. Once I got it all cracked loose. I don't know what you're supposed to use. I researched that all over the place when I did the one on the Honda, and I never did find what psi people recommend. No one ever did recommend a psi. So this one came out about, yeah, it moved nice and slow and finally popped out of there without too much drama at about 30 psi. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. That's what worked for me. So, and of course, you know, I had the rag underneath so it wouldn't go flying, and you know, air or eye protection, and make sure your fingers aren't anywhere that anything's going to go crunch. Boy. Okay, and then we got a new one of these. It's interesting, that hole is not round. That's weird. Alright, shall we see how it cleans? Probably don't need to clean the electrical stuff. That's broken anyway. Let's see how it does. Okay, I just remembered I have an ultrasonic parts cleaner. Yay! So, some of these are going to go in there. Okay, well, so I've been looking around at replacement brake diaphragms. There aren't a whole lot out there, but the ones I've seen, it looks like this area right in here of this one has expanded. Is this even in frame? Probably. But anyway, so I think that's why that's part of why this is having such a hard time getting back into form. I even tried using some heat, heat gun to warm this up so that I could push it into shape and then let it cool down in its proper shape, but it just isn't having it. I cleaned up the brake pads. Look at how much material is left on there. These are like, but they both came out really well. But this is all super smooth, and I got the O-ring out, and I got all the crud out of there, and yeah, so this is going to be reusable. Oh, I got my Pour 15 rust remover. It's actually sitting over there, but I put it in a little thing and I tested it out. It's mainly for the gas tank, but I wanted to test it out on some metal parts first. So I went ahead and threw this guy in. Remember, this guy came out completely rusty, and then I went ahead and soaked this overnight in the rust remover, and it took all the rest of that surface rust off. And you can see there's tons of pitting. I don't think I'm going to reuse this, but I'm going to see how well I can restore it before I go ahead and replace it. I'm going to practice my trying to save things skills and see if I can bring this back at all. I also did this bolt right here, had a good coating of rust on it, so I threw that in there, and that came out pretty good. There's a little bit of, you can see a little bit of pitting starting right in there, but I'm going to clean that up on the Scotch-Brite wheel. And I did this guy too. I can't remember if he had a coating on him or not, but doesn't now. So I have some plans for these guys. Okay, well, I fiddled with it for a while, and despite not having the right tool, I did get that circlip out. Once circlip came out, it was a battle to get the rest of it out, but I finally managed. Look at this nasty old guy. Look at that. No wonder nothing's working. So, now that I know what this looks like, I can order the rebuild kit. This does look like the one that I thought might go with my rig. Alright, so there's that out of there. Now I can finish cleaning everything up. Okay, well, I am going to wrap up this chunk of video, but until I get to the next part, well, I hope you found this interesting, and thanks for watching.